Hello, welcome to Learning the Drum. We are in week 48, episode 45. Welcome back to the show. Last week we did solo number 9, and of course I had you folks try that on your own because we have, of course, the retardando, accelerando. I feel we can't do that with the metronome. As you can tell, I'm a little old-fashioned or old school. I'm still using the Dr. Beat 66. All the way back from 1993. Welcome back to the show. If this is your first time watching, of course, go back to episode 1. Catch up back with us. We are taking it at your pace, so there's no rush, no deadlines, you're not missing anything. So this week, what we're going to do is study number 22. We get to learn a new time signature, and that's 6/8. But before we do that, it is, you guessed it, test time. Okay, this is the last rudiment that we're going to test for the season, and after that I think you can anticipate what we're going to have coming down in the near future. So with that said, let's go ahead and start at 90 with our 5 strokes. Digga digga dot, digga digga dot, digga digga dot, digga digga dot. Hopefully you're incorporating that double beat, the drop catch, push pull, open close, whatever you want to call it, into these rolls. And the drag exercise helps you out with that, as well as digga digga dars, and now the triplet drag and triplet roll exercises. So all those roll exercises are going to help you with your stroke rolls. Next season, we're going to learn more about the stroke rolls and the different types. There's many of them, so stay tuned. But let's go ahead and, there we are. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, here we go. There you go. Hey, how did you do on that? Not too big of a deal. Remember, don't try to force that. Remember, use the bounce of the drum, the free stroke, right? We've learned that free stroke. All right, so up to 100 now. Digga digga dot, digga digga dot, digga digga dot, digga digga. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2. Here we go. Okay. All right. Not too big of a deal. And now for our test tempo. Okay. No fear on this, right? No fear, just work it out. Okay, digga digga dot, digga digga dot, digga digga dot, digga digga dot. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, here we go. More. Okay, all right. That is the test tempo, 110. And of course, I always say if you can't get there at this time, that's okay. We are taking it at your pace. It is possible, though. And again, these goals are just suggestions. If you can go faster, go faster. If you have to go slower, go slower. Okay, the choice is yours. All right, now on to study number 22. We're learning a new time signature. And you remember how to tell which note gets the beat and how many beats per measure. Well, the top number, right, is 6, and so we have 6 beats per measure, right? Last week we were still in 12/8 time, okay? So there's going to be some similarity, and I'll talk about that in just a sec. So the bottom number, if we take away the 6 and we got the 8, 1/8, so of course the 8th note once again gets the beat. Now, back when we were doing 12/8, usually I wouldn't find it at a slow tempo. 12/8 is more at a medium tempo, treating that dotted quarter note as the pulse or the beat, right? And we started learning about those rhythmical cells, right? Well, in 6/8, those rhythmical cells still apply, okay? And it's kind of the same thing, except, 6/8, I haven't really played too much slow 6/8. As a matter of fact, if I were to play a slow 6 or a slow 12, it would be 12/4 time or 6/4 time, most of the cases. But in 6/8, like 12/8, it's felt in 2, okay, instead of 4. So again, we're treating that dotted quarter note as that pulse or the beat, even though it's technically not the beat. So in study number 22, we look at number 1, very simple stuff, just like what we did in the previous study with the 12/8. We got the dotted quarter note and then 3/8 notes. How is it counted? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, but it's felt in 2 most of the time. So 6/8 might be like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? 12/8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? Number 1, let's go ahead and try that. We'll drop it down to 90 beats per minute. I'm still going to go ahead and keep my triplet 8th notes going, because that will be the 8th notes in 6/8 time, right? And then change my beat to now 1 of every 2, because again, we're feeling this in 2. Okay, we'll take the repeats. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, here we go. 1, 2, 1. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, no big deal. And now in number 2, we have the opposite. Ba da da ba. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I usually don't count 6/8 that way. I'm usually feeling it as in a 2, right? Again, we're trying to feel that 2. All right, here we go for number 2. No pun intended. 1, 2, 1, 2. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Good. All right. No big deal. Number 3 is no big deal either. The trick, though, that I do with students when I have a bunch of notes that are just consecutive, same note value, right? And we have to repeat it, I test them to see if they know where they're supposed to stop. So I'm not going to say anything, so let's see if you folks know where to stop here. We are taking the repeat, right? Here we go, number 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, here we go. Okay, sometimes I do that with my students and I'll act like I'm hitting and they're like, it throws them off guard. But anyway, hopefully you folks knew where to end. And now on to number 4. And this is just kind of like what we saw with the quarter note plus the 8th note, except now we're replacing that quarter note with a 8th note and an 8th note rest. Okay, of course, if I'm a flute, it would sound differently. But here with the practice pad or a membranophone, then yes, it'll sound the same. All right, for number 4, again, let's see if you know where to end. 1, 2, 1, 2, here we go. And 1. Did I catch you on that one? All right. All right, just a little fun there. Okay, so number 5, here's that quarter note plus the 8th note. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, here we go for number 5. 2, 1, 2. Here we go. There we go. No big deal. Okay, very simple. Okay. Number 6, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, this is why I don't count it too, because it's too much of a tongue twister. All right, so number 6, here we go. 2, 1, 2, here we go. Okay, good. All right. Number 7, this is going to be a little tricky, so make sure you feel the 1 and the 2 on the inside, so that way you don't get too discombobulated, I guess, if you will. All right, so number 7. Okay, here we go. 2, 1, 2 for the 1 and 2, 1. Cool. All right, you didn't have to do that jerking stuff that I did, but just to kind of visually show you what's happening on the inside. 1, Okay, so you don't have to do all that stuff. I just, again, want you to see that. All right, so now, number 8, a little tricky. Dot, 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 okay? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. 1. Okay, it was a little slower, easier for me to say. Here we go for number 8. 2, 1, 2, here we go. Cool. All right. That is study number 22. Self-explanatory now. When we get into next week, study number 23, we have some application with the 5-stroke roll. I'm also going to let you know a different way of playing those 16th notes. We didn't do that in 12/8 time because I wanted you to get used to those different rhythmical cells. You remember? Or the opposite. Or the 2 16th notes up front. Those are the hertas, right? Okay. We called them heritas, I guess, in my day, but I think that's the incorrect way. It's herta. Okay. Then the next one would be, and then the middle. Okay. So those different building blocks are going to be really, really useful in drum set playing. And when are we going to get to the drum set? I kind of let the cat out of the bag earlier in the season, a little bit, I think some weeks ago there, where I said we are going to get to drum set in the next season, but don't go buying a drum set just yet because we are going to talk about different types of configurations that you can purchase. As far as spending limit, you know, what kind of things you would get with certain budgets, okay? So again, don't go out and buy one. If you have a drum instructor or if you know someone that knows what to get, by all means do it if you have the wherewithal, but don't go rushing and buy a drum set. Okay, so that's study number 22. Next week, we talked about a little bit about what we're going to do in study number 23. We might have a test. So that's all we have for this week on Learning to Drum. A little bit short of an episode, but that's okay. Be sure to tune in next week. I'm your host, Adam Tevlin, and always remember to keep swinging those sticks.